US President Joe Biden has declined to visit India later this month. He had been invited by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to be chief guest of the Republic Day parade on January 26. As Biden declines an invitation to New Delhi, Modi's government has judged that a US foiled assassination plot won't have serious consequences. In June 2023, Hardfeep Singh Nijjar, a Sikh separatist, was assassinated in Canada. Meanwhile, another assassination attempt, planned to be executed in the US about the same time, was halted on the instructions of some senior Indian official, as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was scheduled to visit USA during the same time. Months later, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau linked Delhi to the killing of Hardfeep Singh Nijjar. Canadian Prime Minister accused India of involvement in Nijjar's killing during a speech made to the House of Commons. And Modi's government reacted boldly, denying the charges. But New Delhi has so far promised cooperation with Washington. Pannun and Nijjar both advocated for the cause of an independent Sikh state known as Khalistan. Their efforts to organize pro-Khalistan protests and referendums in Western countries seem to particularly irk India. New Delhi designated both leaders as terrorists in 2020. In fact, India's outraged reaction to Trudeau came after US officials had privately raised the Pannun case with their Indian counterparts. Perhaps New Delhi never expected the Biden administration to go public with the charges, having overlooked India's recent democratic backsliding and targeting of religious minorities, not to mention its robust ties with Russia in the wake of the war in Ukraine. Modi's Hindu nationalist government has paid little price for many of its actions, especially as it has become a US partner in countering China. Modi may have assumed he could get away with more. Modi's government wasn't wrong in getting that impression. India has largely gotten away with avoiding public resentment from the United States for policies that actively discriminated against religious minorities. The United States chose to look away as India became the biggest importer of Russian crude oil and violated a price cap imposed by Western countries after the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The Biden administration even honored Modi with an official state visit to Washington, and senior US officials continued to harp on about shared values with New Delhi. Ties between America and India have been through rough patches before. In 1990s, India bristled at American criticism of its conduct in Kashmir. In 1998, America imposed sanctions after India tested nuclear weapons. In 2004, Rabinder Singh, a RA official, vanished from Delhi. He is believed to have been recruited by the CIA. In 2013, warming bilateral ties were interrupted when America prosecuted India's Deputy Consul General in New York for visa fraud. The difference today is that both countries are deeply invested in their bilateral relationship, which now spans defense, trade, and technology. India has likely observed that even if the US and Canadian accusations prove to be true, they wouldn't amount to serious consequences. However, if the convergence of interest between India and the United States turns out to be narrower and more fleeting than it appears, New Delhi's aspirations to be a great power may suffer.